everybody, and welcome to Houston Life on this Tuesday, June 2nd. Nice to have you with us. I'm Derek Shore in Studio B at Channel 2 Studios. Courtney Zavala holding down the fort at home. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, we're at Studio 1H in the home still. And, you know, I have to say that this day is different today. It has a different feel. I know yesterday our hearts and our minds were very heavy. And today I'm honored to say that so many of us, I know Derek, you have too, participating in the hashtag Blackout Tuesday, to be able to continue this conversation and try and heal this hurt world. It's a heavy topic, as we said yesterday. A lot of times when we tune in and our viewers tune in at this hour, we usually take the break to decompress, right? To forget the troubles of the world. And in today's world, in this moment, we can't forget those times. And I think we're leaning on each other. And we are finding a common ground, a place to have a conversation. We are not quite healed just yet.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to take a long, long time. And I think, honestly, I don't think healing will really, truly start to begin until we see some actual policy change on so many different levels of government. But it has been nice to hear from you, our viewers, starting this dialogue. Obviously, the first step is starting this conversation, right? And of course, everyone has the right, their constitutional right, to peacefully protest. We have another protest today, Courtney, that is planned starting at Discovery Green at 3 p.m. Protesters will march down to City Hall. Everyone is invited. Of course, leadership, they are all calling for peace and calm, because when people are peacefully protesting, I feel like that is the time when the message comes through the loudest, right? Loud and clear. We hear you, we see you, we all need to be part of this conversation. So fingers crossed things can stay safe and peaceful here in Houston. And again, I know there were some problems on Friday in terms of vandalism and broken glass and things being thrown. So hopefully today the crowds can just keep it together. And again, I think that Houston, compared to what's happening in so many cities around the country, it's absolutely heartbreaking to watch this news coverage, but I think so far Houstonians have been a really good example. I hope we can continue that.
Absolutely, and Derek, and I think you say something that's really important. I mean, to be able to peacefully protest, stand together, lock arm in arm, that's where the change happens. That's where the difference happens. And that's where the conversation needs to begin. And we always say this too on the show. We love hearing from our viewers, because you lift us up, just like you say we lift you up. And yesterday was no different. We had so many great messages on social media from all of you. Well, welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. You know, over the past week, we've seen such disturbing images on television, social media, and truthfully, in our communities. And all this on top of an already stressful time during COVID-19.
Yeah, it can feel overwhelming, Courtney, and we want to make sure everyone stays safe, hopeful. Licensed professional counselor Dr. Shayna D. Lewis joins us now with simple ideas for us to all take a step back and take a deep breath. Dr. Lewis, thank you so much for your time today. It's nice to see you. My goodness, a lot of folks are just asking the question right now. I see you shaking your head. Where do we begin? I mean, this is the world we live in the year 2020.
You know, Derek, this it's like we're living in a foreign land. That's how I feel. I don't recognize much of the world that we live in on so many levels. Even before we got to where we are today, just COVID-19 was enough to shake us at our core, right? And then we've added this on top. It's trauma on top of trauma, and we're all watching it play out on TV, in our everyday lives, and it's a lot. It's overwhelming. It is.
It really is. And I have to say, you know, when we're dealing with this pandemic and now the death of George Floyd and everything that's going on, not only in our backyard, Dr. Lewis, but, you know, across the country. So where do we go? Where do we start? How do we start to heal, and how do we deal with this anxiety and hurt that's in our heart and our minds?
Great question. That's a compounded question. There's so many levels of healing that we're in need of right now. What I'm trying to help people understand is kind of on their own individual level, what can we do to begin to heal? And I'm using an acronym that's HEAL, actually, HEAL. The very first piece of that, Courtney, is that the H is to honor your own feelings. Folks are feeling intense emotions right now. You have a right to feel how you feel. honor that. Don't dismiss that. It's important. It's telling you something, but also honor the feelings of other people as well too. We may not understand each other all the time, but you want to make sure that you make room and space to honor the feelings that you have as well as people around you. And then perhaps one of the most important pieces to this whole healing portion for me is the education piece. I think sometimes we are responding to things that are inaccurate, and we want to make sure that folks get educated about racism, the histories, the consequences, your individual roles that folks can play that perpetuate it as well, taking some ownership of some of those things. And so education is highly important right now. You want to be responding to truths and not just things that are lies that are being spread around to confuse us, if you will. And then the A is just ask for what you need. As an individual, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, no one's going to know how you feel until you share that with them. So ask for what you need and ask for other people. Ask of them, how can you help? How can you assist? It's so important that we address how we feel and ask for our needs. Maybe you need a time out. Maybe you need to take a walk. Maybe you need the husband to watch the kids so you can take a drive. But do those things to help yourself. And finally, the L is listen. We need to just hush and listen. One of the things that our country is faced with right now is we have not been listened to. People have not felt heard, and we need to hush and listen. Listen and then act. We need not to be impulsive, but we need to listen so folks can be heard.
Listening is such a powerful tool. And Dr. Lewis, when it comes to listening, I know a lot of us have had some very uncomfortable conversations. What's your advice? Should we avoid these conversations with people? And of course, we've seen an explosion of posts on social media the past few days from a lot of people who frankly are just sort of I don't know how to say this diplomatically, sort of like putting their ignorance all out, out there on display and saying, well, white lives matter too. How do you start these very awkward conversations with people who are completely missing the boat on racism and social injustice?
Listen, that is complicated in itself. The reality is we cannot avoid the elephant in the room. It's in the room. So for us to tiptoe and dance around it and not address it is disrespectful. And it also perpetuates the whole problem that we have, ignoring the problems that exist. So I'm encouraging all folks, no matter what colors you are, especially if you're not black and brown and you don't have this lived experience, acknowledge that it exists with the folks in your world who are black and brown. Stand with people in your space who you may not understand their circumstances or their plight, but you understand that there's pain involved and you acknowledge that. We have to have the uncomfortable conversation. And the fact that it's uncomfortable is necessary because that's the indicator that we need to do something about it. It's important. We can't sit quiet. Silence is a cosigner on what is happening, and we cannot be silent anymore, Derek. Cannot.
Absolutely. Dr. Lewis, you said great things. And one thing I will say is God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And you said it best. We need to listen. We need to hear what is happening around us. You have such a great points. I wrote down the HEAL acronym, and I am going to live by that from here on out. And we do have more tips from Dr. Lewis. Just visit our website. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. Yeah, sorry we got squeezed for time because of that press conference, but we'll have you back to chat very, very soon. All right, taking a turn now, folks. After the break, it is time for our Tip Tuesday. What should we be doing right now to get our home's AC systems ready for the summer heat? That's next.
Well, welcome back. It's now time for our Tip Tuesday with 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating of Houston. They recommend that you learn more about your HVAC system.
Yeah, so first step, call your HVAC company, ask some questions, maybe do some research on HVAC safety. And next time you have your HVAC serviced, watch the technician work on your system. Interesting. Ask them exactly what they're doing, have them point out the different parts, and talk to them about any potential safety issues or mechanical issues they might see.
That's right. It's important for you to get a full rundown of your system and how you can take care of it between those tune-ups.
And joining us now with more on getting your home's AC system ready for the summer heat, General Manager of 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating of Houston, Jimmy Sanchez. Good to see you, Jimmy. I can't believe it's been a full month since the last time. And this is really interesting. I mean, it seems so logical. The next time we have our system serviced, you say just pay attention to what's going on. Learn the inner workings of how it all works.
Yes, Derek, Courtney, thank you for having me again. You know, we absolutely invite our customers to come with us as best they can while we're performing our tune-up to make sure they can get a better understanding of their home comfort system. So we welcome it.
And here's the thing, Jimmy, the heat is on. I think the last time we all chatted together, we were still kind of like frolicking outside because the weather was really nice. Well, that season is gone and summer's upon us. So is your AC unit ready for summer? That's the big question.
Absolutely. You know, we want our house to be nice and cool when it's hot outside. We don't want it to be hot inside. So we want to make sure we do that tune-up. You know, we do have a lot of customers that are still having the COVID concerns. So we want to assure all of our customers that all of Team 1 Hour is strictly following the CDC guidelines. And when they show up at your house, they're going to make sure that they respect your property and follow those guidelines.
And Jimmy, obviously, if our system just stops working at home, you know, like it's not cooling at all, clearly at that point, we're going to know there's a problem. But is there a way to know when your unit or your system at home is showing signs that it's about to have a big issue?
Yes, it is. That's a great question, Derek. So, you know, one of the things that we do when we're testing or doing that professional tune-up is we want to test, check, and clean all your electrical components. You know, they have a manufacturer's specification that they're designed to run at. And when they fall below those standards, what happens is some of your other components work harder to keep up. So you'll set some maybe some discomfort in the home in regards to air or airflow or temperature. So yes, you definitely can. So we want to make sure we identify those during that tune-up to make sure everything's working according to that manufacturer's specifications.
And really, a tune-up is necessary at the beginning of our big season when this AC unit is running basically 24/7.
Yes, it is. You know, one of the other reasons that most customers that we want to identify for customers, another reason for performing that tune-up is to make sure that we keep your unit's manufacturer's warranty up to code, right? When we don't perform those, sometimes it voids that manufacturer's warranty. In addition to making sure that we don't have that catastrophic breakdown by testing and checking all the components in that system, both your outside system and your inside, as well as all the other components that make up that HVAC system in your home.
And Jimmy, I'm seeing here that it's $69 for someone to have you come out and do their tune-up to get them ready for the season. Walk us through in more detail, what exactly should we expect during that tune-up?
So when we show up to your house, you're going to expect a professionally dressed and looking technician. He's going to be wearing his mask. He's going to be wearing his gloves, making sure we follow those CDC guidelines. He's going to come in and verify exactly what we're there to do with you and go over it. He's going to walk you to your thermostat. He's going to let you set it on your setting of preference. While we're walking through the home, we're going to be looking for other indicators that might affect the comfort of your home. And when he begins the tune-up, he's going to go upstairs into the attic first. We'll do a quick look around the entire area to check all your duct systems, your insulation, because all of these things affect the comfort of your indoor your indoor air. So when he begins the tune-up, he's going to start with all your electrical components, making sure they meet manufacturer specification, mechanical, making sure we clean them all. He's going to check your filters to make sure that they're clean and serviceable. He's going to check all your airflow that's coming through your system to make sure that that system is breathing correctly. Once he's done all of that upstairs, he's going to make his way outside. He's also going to make sure that he cleans the coils, both the inside and outside, because that affects the efficiency of how the heat is being drawn out of the air and pushed outside. Again, on the outside unit, he'll check and test all those electrical components, making sure we wash that condenser down. Again, making sure that the unit is operating as closely as we can to manufacturer specifications.
It's great. It's a very thorough check as well. And before we get and let people know about the special offer that's going on right now for you guys, let's brag about you guys as a company, because you've been servicing Houston for more than 50 years and you pride yourself on customer service, also keeping families comfortable in their home when you and the technicians are in and around it, especially during this time of COVID-19.
Yes, we do. So, you know, it's one of the things I love to brag about our company. We've been here for over 50 years. We have customers that have been with us for almost that same amount of time. We have employees that have been with us over 40 years. So it really is a family. And we want to make sure that all Houstonians know that we're here and we have their best interests in mind when it comes to their indoor home comfort. We want to be the AC company of choice for all Houstonians.
And we want to remind people, Jimmy, before we let you go, so it's great to avoid the headache, right? Get the tune-up. It's $69 right now, and there's the info right on your screen. It's a very thorough inspection. As Courtney pointed out, you can call 855-1-HOUR or visit them online at onehourhoustonac.com. And seriously, it seems like a great little insurance policy for $69. Just ensure things are working well before you have an expensive repair. Jimmy Sanchez, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Coming up after the break, the school year may be over, but some Royal ISD students have a special message for their teachers. We're going to share that with you. That's coming up next.
It is time now to wrap up our Cool Schools season, brought to you by Go Public Gulf Coast. All week, we're sharing messages of gratitude, goodbyes, and fond memories from many of our cool school districts.
That is right. Today we are highlighting Royal ISD with a special montage. The students submitted artwork, photos, and shout-outs to show their appreciation for all the district's teachers.
Royal ISD also hosted a senior celebration parade. This is such a great idea. Families could drive through and receive caps, gowns, gifts, and custom yard signs. Very, very nice, folks, and congratulations on the end of the school year. If you'd like more info on all of Houston's cool schools, you can visit gopublicgulfcoast.com. And now, Courtney, we got to chat about your very colorful artwork you've got today.
I know, it's our favorite time, and today's artwork is submitted from Isabella, and she's a rising fourth grader, because you know school's out for summer, so she'll be in fourth grade come the fall. And I have to say, this one made me really smile. Look at that, the magic of HL. I love that, little rainbows. She did a fantastic job. What do you think?
The magic of HL and the magic of your talents, Isabella. Thank you so much for sharing them with us. And Courtney, I also understand it's a very big day in your family, a big birthday.
It is a big birthday. You know, my mom has now figured out how to watch us online on the digital platform. It's only taken a few months to figure this out. But happy birthday to my fabulous and always young mother. We'll take a trip down memory lane, I think. Maybe we have more than one picture here. But I know, right? Do you love it? That was from her early days at Scandinavian Airlines. And I don't know what that was from, modeling or something. She's very serious in that photo.
It's interesting because she looks exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Right?
And those photos of her when she was a flight attendant, Courtney, how old? Oh, well, that's actually not your mother we're seeing on the screen. Now, there she is. Very funny.
No, that is not my mom.
That's not your mom.
They went to the next. That's not my mom.
But I was going to ask you, how old was your mom when she became a flight attendant?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe she'll text me that information. I'm looking at my phone because I use, multiple devices
here. She must have been in her 20s, like early 20s, late 20s.
I think so.
Wow.
Early 20s for sure. And, she tells the story how they used to stand up in a line. This would never fly today.
Oh, my gosh.
Wink, wink. But all the ladies would have to line up, and they'd have their girdle check, where they'd get a little tap on their behind by the men, the managers in the room, to make sure that they were all wearing their girdles.
I have many things I could say right now, but I don't think I can say them on live television. That is messed up.
I know.
Messed up, and I am glad that is a distant memory for your mother. But we can all laugh about that, the ridiculousness of the world from decades ago, if only those kinds of things did not still happen today. Anyway, that's for another show. I won't get on that train.
It is for another show.
Happy birthday to your sweet mom, Eileen. And my goodness, I miss seeing her. It's been a while since she's been able to visit us here in Houston, so I hope that can happen one day very soon.
I know, that's what we were just talking about on the phone. I love you, Mom. Happy birthday. I'll call you a little bit later, and I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I'll chat with you later. I love you very, very much. And, we always want to be able to offer a smile and something to smile about today, so hopefully my mom's birthday, those pictures, those flashbacks do that. But how about this? Now, we put up another picture, and this is Louise. And over the week, this is not my mom.
There's Louise.
But this is Louise. And the reason why we're showing you this is best friend Lori's grandmother. And over the weekend, she turned 95 years young.
95.
She is an original resident of Timber Grove. And that community basically had a huge birthday parade with a fire truck. All of the residents in her community, everybody came out to wish Miss Louise a happy birthday. And it was so fantastic to be there. And yards, look at all the people.
Incredible. That's incredible. And there, of course, is Lori there right next to her. At 95 years old.
Yes.
She definitely deserves that. Very nice.
I know, so sweet. So happy birthday, Grandma Louise, and to my mom. I love this, and hopefully that warms up our hearts today.
Something we can all feel good about. Happy birthday. And coming up after the break, how one Houston mom took her simple drawings from her iPad, get this, to front yards all over the country. Lauren Kelly chats with Yard Peeps creator Robin Goldstein next.
Oh, welcome back. Frontline and essential workers have been working, of course, nonstop since the start of COVID-19, since the start of the pandemic. And one Houston mom has found the perfect way to thank them.
Yeah, Robin Goldstein is an attorney and business owner who just so happens to have studied graphic design, and her late night doodles turned into signs that have not only been popping up all over Houston, but really all around the country. Lauren Kelly learned more about how it all started.
All right, Houston, I know you've been driving around and probably in all of your neighborhoods, you've seen these adorable Yard Peeps sign. I even have them down my street. I'm waiting to get my hands on one. But who's in charge of all of these? Who's been making them? It is Houston mom, Robin Goldstein. Hi, Robin.
Hey there.
Tell everybody a little bit about these Yard Peeps signs and how it all started.
Well, I've always been a doodler and I've drawn my whole life, but I'm a lawyer, a small business owner, and a mom. And during this time stuck at home, I started drawing on a birthday gift, an iPad, and I created these characters. It was like the second drawing I did, and I sort of put it out there to friends and family to see if they would be interested, and it sort of went crazy overnight.
Yeah, your doodles are a lot better than me scribbling my name. My doodles don't look anything like that. So let's tell people who's on the signs. You first made some that were essential workers, frontline workers, and that blew up.
Correct. So on the essential workers, I tried to sort of cover all categories. So I have your nurse, medical research, sort of in that category. Then I also have a doctor, police, firefighter, mail carrier, but mail carrier also covers all of your delivery workers, and then sanitation workers and janitors, and that covers sort of everyone in that category. So I tried to cover everyone that is on the front line. I'm sure I forgot someone, but I really tried to cover sort of all groups that were putting themselves out there during this pandemic.
Well, you really did cover everybody, and you also did a sign for the military, and you also did a sign for graduates. And so really, we should be thanking you. You've included everyone. Nobody should feel left out.
More to come. So
good. So
more to come.
What's really awesome is you're selling these for $20 a piece, but it's all going towards something really wonderful. Why don't you tell everybody about where all the funds are going?
So for the essential workers, we've partnered with Brighter Bites, which is a nonprofit here in Houston that's getting healthy food to children in need. And then in two other areas where they've sold 100+ signs, we've partnered with their food bank, and we're making a donation to their food bank. And then for the military, we are going to partner with a military organization that helps military families in need. So trying to find those right organizations that make sense for the sign.
How many of these Yard Peeps signs do you think you've sold in total now? Because it's been going on for a couple of months.
No, actually only 3 weeks.
Oh, no way!
So 3 weeks. And we have sold over 2,100 signs. And we are in 45 states. We're scrambling to find someone in those last 5 states that I don't seem to have anyone in my network for those, but I'm trying. But we've reached Alaska and Hawaii already, so it's pretty cool. We're all over already.
That's so wonderful. And these are just the cutest and just so valuable at a time like this, because when you drive by somebody's house, it's really just like connecting and recognizing, even without saying anything, just we recognize you, thank you for what you're doing, and just benefiting, Brighter Bites and the Houston Food Bank is an added bonus.
So these characters actually started when I was a camp counselor many years ago. I drew similar characters. I have a graphic design background, so I guess I should admit that I have some sort of drawing background. But I, really just started thinking about, we live near the medical center, and I was like, maybe I could put up a sign that thanks the essential workers. And, when I was out on runs in the neighborhood during this time, because the gyms are all closed, I would see different signs in different yards, and I thought it would be really cool to see something that just said thank you to people who were out there. And so that's sort of where it came, and, sort of not many drawings in on my new iPad that I had done, and learning to use Apple Pencil. I still don't even really know how to use the pencil that I drew it on, but so it's pretty cool.
The city of Houston and all the states that are purchasing these signs, thank you for what you're doing. I think it's wonderful, and we love that you're local Houston, and now you can just add another notch to that list of things that you do. You are a wonder mom, Robin. Thank you so much for joining us. Yardpeeps.com is where you can get a sign of your own, and we've got all the details linked up to our website at houstonlife.tv.
She is very talented and such a cool way to support our frontline workers. If you would like to learn more about Robin's Yard Peeps, you can visit the Scene on Houston Life section of our website.
Very cool. And after the break, is hearing loss making it difficult for you or someone in your family to use the phone? Well, we have details on one phone service that promises to help. We'll be right back. Well, for years, phones have become an essential part of our daily lives, right? And let's face it, we all need one.
Yeah, and if you or a loved one are starting to experience loss of hearing, there is a captioned phone service that allows you to hear and also see your calls. It's so interesting. Here to explain more is Olivia Dominguez with Captel, Texas. Olivia, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time today. And this is absolutely fascinating because a lot of folks may think that, oh my goodness, I have an aging parent or a loved one. I want to be able to communicate with them. And if the phone line is the primary line of communication, up until now, people may have lost a few things in translation. So describe to us how your system works.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And yes, Captel Texas is a telephone service, and what it does is actually been proven to be a blessing to individuals with the hearing loss. As you can see, it works just like a traditional telephone, so that a person can listen and hear and see what is going on. In case they miss anything, they're able to read it on the screen. And the unique difference is that everything that the individual is saying is going to be displayed on the screen. They use
that is so fantastic. And it doesn't, I mean, the simplicity of the actual phone, but the voice recognition is really where this is enhanced, where you're not missing anything.
Exactly. Everything that is saying, it uses an enhanced voice recognition technology, like you said. So everything's going to be revoiced, and then the individual is going to see it on the screen. And the captioning service is transparent, so allowing the person with a hearing loss to have a more natural feel of the call.
And Olivia, so we can see a screen behind you. Is everything that's being said during this phone conversation, is that what's popping up on that black screen behind you?
No, Derek, that right now is in demo mode, just to demonstrate how you would see it. And the good thing about it is that you can change backgrounds and you can change the font color also.
That is really great. Okay, now let me ask you this too, Olivia, because maybe somebody seeing this is thinking, my loved one or my parent, they're not so tech savvy. Is this device and this phone easy to use and operate?
Well, the good thing about it is we do have 4 options. This one right here is the 2400i, and this one is technology savvy. It's got touchscreen, color, and like I said, you can change the colors on the background, and you can even dial by picture, as you can see. And then we have another model, which is a little bit more like a traditional feel, and that's our 840i. And then another area we have is that we have a phone, the 880i, and that one is for our individuals that have more of a low vision or problems with their vision. And then we have also a model that is going to help individuals that do not have the internet.
It's so great, Olivia, because I feel like so many people, when it comes to hearing loss, as people age, they don't want to admit, A, that maybe their hearing is not as great as it used to be, and maybe it's uncomfortable or awkward to ask people on the other end of the phone line to repeat what they've said. So it seems like a fantastic service. This is not, we should clarify though, people don't have to switch their phone company. If you have just a landline or even an internet phone, you essentially just provide the phone that they then plug into the wall to use with their existing service. Is that right?
That is correct. No, there's no contracts. You don't have to switch phone companies. It works with your existing telephone service you already have or internet service that you already have.
That is great news. Also, let's talk about the cost, because someone might see this type of gadget and think this is going to be way outside my budget. And I'm very surprised because you can purchase a phone for just $75, right?
Yes, actually, you can get one at no cost. And the way you do that is you get certified by a professional, just your doctor or an audiologist. And then if you don't want to go through the certification process, then you may purchase the telephone for $75, one-time fee. And like I said, there's no cost for the service. There's no cost for the device. And so, yeah. That's all that you would need, and there's no contracts.
Wait, no cost for the service, no cost for the device. So if you go to the doctor and they say, okay, yeah, it looks like you have hearing loss, people can get this phone totally free, and then the service is free. I mean, why would people not do this?
At no cost, definitely. And so that's why we're here, to try and let people know that this is available.
That is really, really cool. That's amazing. So how does it work, Olivia? Like, how do we get a phone? Or if someone we love needs one, how do they get one?
Well, you can go onto our website, and that's CapitolTexas.com, or you may dial 877-541-5650, and someone will be glad to help you and get you started, and either, like I said, give you a form for certification, or you may purchase it directly.
That is incredible that it is a free phone and a free service if you qualify. Olivia Dominguez, thank you so much for your time. Again, that number is 877-541-5650, or you can visit CaptelTexas.com. Thanks again, Olivia.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Olivia. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back. And this was a fun show. It was a great conversation. I have an update, though, Derek. This just in from my mom. You know, today's her birthday, so happy birthday, Eileen.
Happy birthday, Eileen.
We showed that flight attendant photo, and she was in her 20s when that photo was taken. So, yes, she said early 20s.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, she's still in her early 20s, maybe late 20s. So this photo was taken just a couple years ago. Happy birthday, Eileen. We miss you and we love you. And to all the rest of you, stay safe. Have a great day.
Stay safe. Love you, Mom. Happy birthday. See you tomorrow.